Oh, here we are. Hello, good morning. Nicola McKenna here with your morning pages. With your morning pages. Go for it, guys. Bring whatever wants to come out onto those pages. You're safe and welcome here. Morning pages being part of Artist's Way, which is one of the three big tools that Julia asks us to use wherever possible. And if you're like me and you're sometimes time poor and you have more ideas than you know what to do with, it's best to start small, make a bit of a habit, try to leave the shame at the door, and try to leave the perfectionism at the door, which is easier said than done. I know about that. What does it look like? It looks like a mess, is what it looks like. Often it comes out in scrolls. I will show you mine. Generally, you don't show your pages to anybody, but it's just to let you know that it can be a bit messy, and it goes generally in a big old refill pad like that. Yeah. So in America, that would be something like a letter size. But you can really use any kind of journal, and often, especially on the Facebook Live or on Facebook group that we have for the Artist's Way. There's one big one that I belong to, and there's often questions of, do I have to do it in a big journal? What size paper should I use? And yeah, we have to be careful around that word should, because it's just an idea. It's just a recommendation that we go with that size. You can go with half of that. You can go with smaller, because writing can be quite intimidating. It can be quite a scary thing to do. And I know all about that. And I'm currently doing a course, participating in a course, and it's a creative writing course. It goes on for about 6 weeks here in Dublin. It's on Zoom, so we're kind of all over the place, but most of us are Irish or part Irish, And I notice as the weeks go by, so we'll get a prompt from the teacher, let's say, and hi, Amanda Keeney, how you doing? Great to see you. Just explaining a little bit about, I suppose, courage, and sometimes we feel it's not really coming, but it is there. So in this course that I'm doing at the moment, I notice that when the teacher gives us prompts, we'll go off for our 6 or 7 minutes and write in private, and that's fine. At the end of it, then she'll come back, and she's one of these real smiley, super nice, friendly, smiley, encouraging, and very permissive writing teachers. And that's, I think, what we need in every part of whatever we're learning. And she says, now, would anyone like to read what they've written? And often it's just silence. And that silence, I think, is something we all know. We all know what that feels like. We all know that it's not ignorance. And the teacher knows that as well, because she's been through this as well. The silence is kind of, am I safe here? What's going to happen? I don't think this is good enough. That's what that silence is about. There's other things it can be. This is too personal. I really don't want to share this. In the third line down, I mention a name. There's something that's going to identify a person in real life. So we're sitting in that silence, and it is uncomfortable. It's deeply uncomfortable to sit in silence. But sometimes we have to sit in it and tune in our ears and see, is this all it is? Is it fear, or is it something else? Because while fear is present there, there's also something in the background behind all of those hurdles that we have to jump. And I call it the coming courage. That is the courage that's way off in the distance. It's way over there. the courage, the strength, the faith that allows us do the work despite the fear. Um, but the fear is so loud. The fear is so all encompassing. It's way louder than the thing that's over there. It's so much louder and it's right in your face. It's really hard to ignore. You know, we it's the only thing we see, hear, and feel and sense is that fear. So gently and slowly, whether you're on the artist's way or you're just doing your pages here, um, I encourage you to sit with the fear a little bit and sit in the silence and tune in to what might be going on. And now and then, it doesn't happen every day, but now and then, especially if we move our sight over to the thing, go, oh, what's that new thing? There's a spark of bravery, a spark of strength, a spark of belief. And often that's all we need to make a start and to get going and to take this first step in safety, in relative privacy. 12 people on a Zoom call. Is that private? I don't know. It can be for some of us. And the notion of not really comparing ourselves to the person who's read their stuff out and is, wow, amazing. God, your work is so great. I loved what you wrote. And there is a lot of that. There's a lot of the gushing, you know. The problem is when the gushing becomes comparison or fear. Um, so the best kind of gushing comes when we're kind of secure in ourselves, when we've gone through our fear and we're kind of coming out the other end and we're still working through the fear, but we're finding the courage and the faith and the reliance on ourselves, you know. So I encourage you to rely on yourself today, be it for the 10 minutes of stream of consciousness, right? And that we do, or for whatever other struggle or crisis you might be facing today or this week. You know, not everybody tunes in to these things daily. So yeah, just sitting with you. And I know you're sitting with me. So thank you very much. Let's see who's on today. Mandakini is on. Hello, Mandakini. In Vienna, I heard that Ultravox song this morning when I was in the car, and by Ultravox, and it's "Oh Vienna," you know that one. And the DJs were saying, God, it takes an awful long time to get to the most interesting word in that song, which is Vienna, which is kind of funny, you know. So we have Mandakini, we have Eva. Hi, how are you? Hope you're keeping well in sunny Sweden and that you're enjoying these pages. Thank you for always tuning in, Eva. It's lovely to have you, and it's lovely to have your comments and your feedback, and just to know that this is a part of your day, you know. So keep going, what you're doing, you know. Mandakini says, I hear you, and I'm one of those self-censors. Yeah, God. We're all like that, aren't we? We are so like that. Eva says, yes, the coming courage. I was just writing a dream and tuned into the deep. Yeah, the deeper parts of that dream and kind of going, not even what does it mean, but, you know, just sitting and marinating and letting answers come to you. There's such freedom in that. There's such freedom and liberation, and you know that there's something else in control, that it's not your fault and it's not your responsibility, whether it's good or bad. The praise is not yours and the fault is not yours. You know, it's whatever you receive. It's like getting a letter through the letterbox. You know, it's neither it's neither the praise is not yours and the fault is not yours. I always think anyway, it's easier said than done, isn't it? Um, Manikini says, yeah, wow. And Eva says, yes, it seems my dreams are trying to communicate with this writing on a more consciousness level. Wow. Yeah. Goodness me. I firmly, I have a bit of a faith. I don't really have much knowledge of dreams, Eva, um, but they are tied to what we're doing, because when we're doing our pages or our automatic writing, or even your regular writing, or whatever kind of creative thing, what we're doing is we're in a flow, and there's a part of our brains. So I'm told, I'm not a scientist, so I'm told that a part of our brains kind of switches off. And it's like when you do meditation and you're just focusing on your breath, and all of these thoughts are coming to you. And we have no control. It's not like you go, choosing stuff consciously. We're not even conscious of it. So, yeah, go for more sleeps. Go for more sleeps, and I will too. And to let those dreams come and amalgamate with what we're doing here, and let that grow, and let it be a whole holistic approach to whatever it is you're looking to change or approach, or gain awareness of. So yeah, there's serious freedom in it, Eva. Serious freedom. Let's get our pages out and our pens. Let's get going. Coffee, despite it saying hot chocolate, it's not actually hot chocolate. But that notion of coming courage is not it's not that common, because fear is so loud. Fear is so in your face, and it really is. It's permeating every part of you. Well, for me anyway. So tuning it out long enough, or sitting with it long enough to hear it, and then hear this little echo, blah, 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 little thing over there going, "Don't worry, this will change. Don't worry, we're coming. Don't worry, you are strong." It's easier said than done. So yeah, hibernation season. Mandakini, I hear you. I hear you. It really should be sleeping, hot chocolate, and tea. I got homework last night from my course, so part of me always dreads that. And then when I get down into it, I'm like, this is wonderful. This is the reason why I signed up to the course, is to be forced to some extent to write by force once a week. I can manage that. I am strong. Let's make a start, shall we? I think it's just the two of us live, or the three of us live, rather. So grab your pens, guys, and think about what it is you might want to bring. Okay. Just take that moment now. Just take that moment. What's bugging you? Would you like to tune into the distant courage, the faraway courage that feels like it's not coming? It is coming. It is. Okay, let's go with our 10 minutes now. All right, 10 minutes done. Go back and review, please, for 1 minute and go. Oh, shoot. Go. Yeah. Insights or things to remember. Okay. Okay. Nice one. Nice work. Well done. We're all done our review. How did that go for you? Did it go well? We have a couple of people on the live, so hello and good morning and welcome. Hope you got your 10 minutes done, or even a few minutes. Some people like to go on, but generally we go long on a Friday and we go short Monday to Thursday. So we're going to wrap up soon, but it struck me that little chat that we had at the start of the call there about fear and the coming courage. And I would love to talk to you about that and about with you about that. If you want to stay on, stay on. I have a little bit of time today. It's 26 past the hour. If you need to cry off, please do. If you want to talk for a few minutes about fear, we can. We've just, at the start of the call, we talked about how fear stops us from reading out our work or sending out our artwork, applying for a grant, maybe applying for a residency, even going to the theatre. No, that's not my cup of tea. No, I don't belong there. No. What's the censor telling you? What's the censor telling you? Let it out. Let it out on your pages. Use your pages to get out that stuff. And just kind of by magic, there's space then in our head. And by magic, the idea of, yeah, I'll buy a ticket to that show. I'll go and see that film about the French orphan, whatever, the one that people laugh at, or the one that they jibe me about. You can be quiet about these things. You can quietly put down your fear in your pages, and you can quietly book the ticket. You know, these things don't have to be public. They don't have to be put up on social media. Oh, I went to see such and such. Find your place of safety. I always say that to people. Find the tribe who will love to hear about the French orphan, or who will love to, buy a ticket with you. Typically, when we do the Artist's Way, we're encouraged to go to events, try a pottery class, go and dance hip hop on our own. And we're encouraged to take those artist states on our own. So we don't have to mind people, and we don't have to be too afraid of what they're going to say or who they're going to tell, or that kind of judge that we can sometimes feel, and we imagine it. A lot of the people that are coming with us are not judgy, but look, the imagination is very powerful, and the imagination tells us that it is true. So, and it stops us. It's enough to stop us in our tracks, and fear is a wonderful thing in lots of ways, but holy God in heaven, it's paralyzing as well. It's absolutely paralyzing. And I know about that. Jeepers tonight. It's really, really bad. Yeah, so let's stay on for a while. Well, for 4 or 5 minutes anyway. Who do we have? I see Ryan. Ryan, you are a ticket. You are a ticket. Ryan is my good friend from the UK. And he says, French Orphan 2 is coming soon to a cinema near you with subtitles and a comfy chair. No, an uncomfortable chair, and bread and water and gruel. That's what they serve at that cinema. So funny. Oh, God. So, yeah, we're talking about fear and the courage that sits over there. And I often feel that there's a fear around fear because I have experienced it myself. I don't want to think about fear. I don't want to talk about fear or express it because I don't know what to do with it. Now, first off, I have to tell you, I am not an art therapist and I'm not a doctor. I don't even know how to do first aid. Okay. That's the amateur you're dealing with. But I do know about fear as a human, as a creative, as an artist, as a person who has struggled with writing for, I don't know, as long as I'm married, 18, how many? I don't know, a long time. The ring just gets heavier with every year. I think it's about 18 years I've been writing. And I say I've been writing for that long because I remember on our honeymoon, I was reading a book by Marion Keyes, who I love, and we were going down the side of a mountain in a taxi, but we were going around this really, really long and windy road. And I must have been talking a good bit to the husband who was, sitting lovingly beside me. And I was like, "Oh, I could write this. I uttered those words that every writer and every creative has ever said or ever wannabe has ever said." And Alan, who is as quiet as the grave, turns around to me and says, "Stop talking about it and just effing do it." And I was like, "What? What did you just say to me?" And this is our honeymoon when we're supposed to be so in love, and and I got the hump. And I sat there and I put down Marion and I looked at him going, and he was really quite cross. And it takes a lot to get that man cross. And I saw it from his perspective that he hears this woman that he loves and respects, and she's talking and talking and talking about doing the thing. And so anyway, I think on that same trip, maybe the same day, I got out some note paper. We were staying in a very fancy place in Sri Lanka, and I took some note paper from the hotel and I started writing down the ideas because here I was talking about doing it, and I wasn't doing it, and I didn't want to lose face in front of him because he's one of the few people whose opinions I care about, and I didn't want him to think that I was just all talk and no trousers. So, I started writing that day, and, but fear it just comes at you every single day, doesn't it really? So sometimes I've talked about Stephen Pressfield and the War of Art and the principles that he talks about, that resistance is a real force in the universe. Now whether or not you subscribe to that, it's definitely true that when you waken up and I open my eyes, there is the threat of the thing right in front of me, the threat of the thing that I'm trying to do. And Stephen Pressfield talks about resistance coming at us anytime that we're trying to change something for the better, anytime we're trying to raise our pathetic selves to something slightly less pathetic, And I say that tongue in cheek, but you know what I mean. And it could be that you're applying for a master's. It could be that you're in the middle of a residency. You feel like a complete imposter. Um, you're writing your first poem, you're maybe submitting a bit of a short story to a literary journal. Whatever the thing is, um, taking that first step can be really difficult because the resistance is so strong. And there's a million reasons why you couldn't, shouldn't, wouldn't. And so we just need to kind of find that faith and find that tribe, first of all, and find a safe place. Often here. Often here, okay? I'm going to have to go soon, but I'm going to read your comments. Let's see. Um, so Eva says, without my many years of dream work, I don't think I would have been able to participate in this writing and able to test the artist's way. Mandakini says, I read the 4th chapter of The Artist's Way today. There's a prompt to list activities around pushing my boundaries. I must check that out, actually, Mandakini. Feel free to tell me about that. I have the book right here. And Eva says, I think for me, your way of talking us through is absolutely needed. Okay, that's fair enough, Eva. Thanks. Yeah. Reading the Julia Cameron book in itself wouldn't have been enough for me. Yeah, look, the book is fairly intense, Eva. I love it. And I'm the first one to proclaim it. But it definitely has to be approached um, with care and customization. Care, that is, and I said it to you yesterday, looking around the rest of your life and going, what other SHIT is hitting what other fans at the moment? Do I have other responsibilities that mean I'm going to be really pressed for time? Or I don't have the support right now, the practical or financial. I have to make that job, or I have to do this pickup, or I have to meet this medical appointment, whatever it happens to be. I get you to look at all of that. And what was the second thing? I can't remember. Caution and I can't remember. Anyway, it's definitely not for everybody. I would often say, dip in and out, buy the book, let it sit there for a while, dip in and out and get a feel for it for sure, But the notion of starting one week and following through for the next week, is that the person you are? If that's the person you are, go with God, you type A miracle child. The rest of us we're we're just trying to get through. The rest of us are just um, trying to find and develop and nurture compassion, and that's easier said than done. So let's find the place of safety. Let's find the group of, the bit of the tribe or whatever, who know what you're going through and are supporting you. And aren't coming in with the shoulds and the woulds and the coulds. You really could get up at 5:30. Could I? Really? For 12 weeks? Are you for real? No. You know? And it takes courage to say the no to the purest approach to the book. It takes a lot of courage. Jeepers. I felt more shame over dropping out and more shame over not doing tasks, turning up to the weekly groups and not having read the chapter. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm the bloody facilitator, you know? So it takes, it takes a lot of courage, the courage that's way over there. Uh, Madakini, if you want to talk about that 4th chapter in the prompt, let me know either privately or here. I think we will have to drop off the call soon. But Eva, I'm glad that the wee chat at the start is good. I think I'll just bring it down to about 8 minutes and try and keep to that 8 minutes, because you could talk a lot. or I could talk a lot rather. Ryan says, I find the mantra of do something every day that scares you a little daft. A lot of people have genuine fears every day and it can be crippling. Absolutely. Thanks for doing this. I need to navigate my fears. You are in the right place, Ryan. And I'm here every day. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you joined us, Ryan, yet for the Friday, which is hardcore, but I know you're hardcore. So if you ever feel like kind of going a wee bit deeper than the 10 minutes, by all means, join us. It's 10 o'clock Dublin, London time, and we finish at 11. Okay. So on a Friday, every Friday, we do this longer thing. So on the Artist's Way, it's suggested, recommended, whatever, that you do 3 pages, and that 3 pages could take anything from 25 minutes if you're super fast to 45, 50, that kind of thing. So what I do on a Friday is I talk for 5 minutes. At 6 past the hour, we start a 45-minute timer. Okay. And the 45-minute timer is there. It's a bit long. I hear you. It's a bit long. But the purpose of it is that it's uncontrollable. Obviously, time just passes and we can't stop it or pause it. What it allows us to do is it allows us go a bit deeper, and we know that we cannot stop writing until 45 minutes. That's it. The hand is moving across the page for the full 45 minutes. It's intense. And you will definitely pass the 1 page mark. You'll definitely pass the 2 page mark. And you'll probably pass the 3 page mark as well. And you'll keep going. And it's to kind of take away our focus from the 3 pages thing and just focus instead on time. And that kind of gives us a little bit more wiggle room to do 5 pages, to do 1.5, to do, to not make this morning pages practice about the number of pages that you've done. Does that make sense? So we focus more on time, and that's the reason why I do just 10 minutes Monday to Thursday. So if you feel like joining us on a Friday, please do. And otherwise, just wiggle around the fear daily, either with myself or with the likes of Stephen Pressfield. I think you and I have talked about Stephen Pressfield, or I've definitely floated it on our community that Ryan and I are part of. But the War of Art is just, it changed my life. It just changed my life, and it's not often you can say that about a book, but it's a thin little thing. And the fact that you can dip in and out of it all the time. I have it on Kindle. I never bought a print version of it. Pardon me. But I have it on Kindle. And I was writing a book back in 2019. And because I loved the War of Art so much, and because the content was so in tune with what I was talking about in my book, I mirrored Stephen's structure of his content, a page and a half, 2 or 3 pages of an essay, and it was about 34, 35 essays. So it's really short, and the language he uses is so straight. It's just straight down the middle, no BS whatsoever, and I love that. I love the fact that he approaches creative jobs in a way that is somewhat regimented, but still bringing in loads of warmth and humor. So I hate the word discipline. I remember looking up the word discipline one time in the dictionary, and I thought it was, I thought what it meant was if you don't do something right, you get punished. That's not what discipline means. When you look discipline up in the dictionary, discipline means learning and repeating, learning by practical approach, learning by application, and developing knowledge. And I remember bringing it up on an Artist's Way workshop that I had with a group 2 or 3 years ago. And we all were shocked at what the word discipline actually meant. But in these days we have changed it. We've changed it to mean something else, you know. So often it means kind of going back and having a look at what is this courage thing really about? What is fear really doing for me, you know? So anyway, I'm going to jump off. Mandakini says, here's Joy Harjo on fear. Okay, yeah, send it on, Mandakini. Thank you very much. Ryan is, oh yeah, Mandakini says, agreed, Nicola, self-recognition versus self-deception translates to a sense of realism. We have got to start writing these things down. Well, we have them written down, but I think, you know, the insights that we're coming up with just on these chats are tremendous. Mandakini said, thank you for that. Self-recognition versus self-deception translates to a sense of realism. Yeah, gosh. I often think that's what they were on to, like the likes of Gabrielle Garcia Marquez and even like Isabel Allende, who's I'm starting to read now. What they were trying to get at was reality, you know, a sense of reality, one form of reality, you know. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. And yeah, Ryan, join us if you can. And if not, we're always here. There's always replays. So, you know, I just happened to start doing this live on the internet, interweb. Thanks very much for joining us. Just keep at this. Just do a little thing, not necessarily the thing that scares you, Ryan, because I hear you, and it is a bit daft, you know. It's worse than daft, actually. It's blooming dangerous. Fear just needs a bit of a place. It needs a bit of a safe place, and that's what we're starting with. And sometimes it takes years of dumping. Sometimes it takes a lot of pages in order to dispel fear long enough to hear that courage that's way over there, you know. So look, we stick together, we lean on one another, and we just keep at it, you know. So that's it. Oh yeah, exactly. Magic realism. I love it. I wonder, does AI work on that? No, it doesn't. Ah well, had to try. Listen, have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow. I might be on the road tomorrow, but I'll try and pull in and find some Wi-Fi or something. I may be on the road, but I'll let you know anyway. I'm definitely on for Friday. All right, friends. Thanks very much for joining us. Take care. All the best. Bye.